Nice. Hello everybody, it's me, Ellen. Made it up. I'm mostly awake. Very close. I did stay up a little bit too late last night, but here we are. I feel awake enough to do this. That is one qualifying factor for trading is, are you awake, Ellen? All right, so I had a few people subscribe over the weekend, the last part of the week. So shout out to everybody who joined. Whoa, check this out. Apparently I'm in the queues right now. Lovely. Big jump. So that's cool. Let's see. What else do we have? Spy, same thing. NQ opened up last night. Yeah, opened up last night and just kept going. How fascinating. All right, cool. Cool. Let's, oh, that's the 1 hour. Dang. Ellen, come on. Get your stuff together. All right, that looks totally different, but I'm still fascinated, right? Let's try again. Cues. All right, so you're opening just kind of 3/4 of the way up. Kind of the tippy top, hitting this 10 EMA, or is that the 10 EMA? Let's make sure. EMA 10, yeah. All right, so that's a 10 EMA on the daily. Apologies for that opening confusion. Same thing on the SPY. NQ opened below the previous week's candle, so I would have expected a rollover from there, but guess not. They just went right through that. All right, excellent. 2 hours. I mean, looks like we're trying to hit a double bottom, but we're gonna have to really cross this little area. I wonder if I could draw a box. Could I draw a box? That'd be cool. Box. Lines. Patterns? No, just a box, really. Well, I suppose I could draw nothing. Parallel channel, maybe? Alright, well, whatever. We'll draw some horizontal lines. So I would say between these two would be a zone. But if you cross above that, definitely like a double bottom on the 2 hour. 1 hour, that's where we started today. Just hanging up above 10 EMA VWAP and whatever this purple line is. I assume it's, oh, coffin. There we go. Kiyama. I haven't been using that lately, so maybe I should kind of like ditch it, but whatever. All right. So short-term bullish, long-term bearish, looking at these kind of areas, 165, 254 as possible resistance. So actually, I'm going to call it 150. 150 for resistance. So I feel like I had lines from the other day, and I like want them to all delete. Yes, perfect. Okay, that's amazing. All right, where did I say? I said 150-ish. Let's see. Is that really reasonable? Yeah, it totally is. All right, 150. Could reverse. Well, there's 150. It's not very far away. Drawing a horizontal line right there. Why do you have to do 2 points? I have no idea. All right, so there's that. Wanted to throw that in there today. We have the 17th, and remember, y'all, I am in New Mexico, so I'm using Mountain Time. So earlier today, 6:30, New York Empire State Manufacturing Index had a little announcement. I wonder if that is related to this six. No, I don't know. Maybe that was just the open. But you can hear Alexa, green lamp off. Did y'all hear that? But I look at that. That's interesting. Usually you do have a reversal somewhere. But just a slow trend up here on the 1 hour chart. All right, back to here. Canada. Bank of Canada has a release. Cool. Potentially a little bit of like volatility expected. 17 minutes. European. Okay, so a bunch of banks releasing stuff. One of the interesting things about day trading is that sometimes I don't know anything. And I'm just trading based off of patterns and indicators. So at some point, maybe I will start to learn these things because I'm here. I am self-employed now, so I'm carving out this time for mornings and or for trading in the morning, and sometimes for just helping out with friends, because sometimes emergencies happen. So yeah, all right, look at that's a nice candle. No exhaustion volume yet, so Delta's going with boop. Always curious about ES. I didn't ask my question of another trading buddy about what the heck is up with Delta not even like remotely doing anything cool. I'm gonna go back over here to this 1 hour chart. I want to pop over into ES because I drew a line on NQ and I was wondering if there was something similar. Maybe there. I mean, it is sort of hitting a little this whole area is sort of resistant-y. And that's what I was curious about. So, line drawn, I guess. Yeah. Which I bring that up because here we are, Delta, that is one of the indicators that I use. And I'm still learning about Delta. Cumulative delta right here. So this is cumulative delta on a range chart for ES. It's a 6-bar or a 6-point range. What's interesting here is we have some divergence, price action going above, whereas delta did not follow, right? And usually delta actually leads. But here, delta at around 750. Price action was lower, yet delta was higher, as opposed to here where price action is higher and delta is lower, which usually I would consider to be an indication to take a bearish trade. Maybe from here to here. I've generally been trading the NQ, just bigger movement, I think is the general consensus. Interesting enough, the delta charts have been completely different between ES and NQ, despite the fact that ES and NQ often travel somewhat together, at least recently. And so I'm trying to figure out what all of that means. Yeah.
All right, all bagels are bagged and labeled.
Uh-huh.
And there's an order of cinnamon rolls on the counter. They're cooling, so their lid's not on.
Okay.
So
I'll put the lid on later and then probably drive it over around 11:30 or 12.
I'll text her.
Look at you. You're on YouTube live. Ha ha ha.
Hi.
So Delta is not following the same directions in between these two charts, which is interesting. And yeah.
Your mom is multifaceted.
ES and NQ often look pretty similar is what I was saying. And today they look incredibly similar. Wow. Right? Pretty freaking similar. So, anyways, I am expecting... Oh, where did I put the horizontal line over here? 696. All right, so ES is crossing into that zone. Okay, at this point, it's a zone of resistance. 696. 696. Okay. I want to draw the line. Give it to me. Alright. There's a line. Great. Okay, so there's one line, NQ not. Lately, I've been watching ES's delta chart to really tell me more about the overall market. In addition to just candlestick patterns and what else is there? Candlesticks? Volume? Delta? These are the things that I generally look at. And today we have added on some resistance lines. So it looks like over here on ES, this could be a really nice bull flag, right? It could be. It could, I mean, I guess it could also be a double top, right? Double top with a higher second peak. Delta currently indicating that we will continue back down. We are a bit far away from this 10 EMA. Then relatively similar thing on NQ's 5-minute chart. So sliding over into NQ, whose delta is doing some wickedly different things. But also, let's see. Price. So it's sitting around here. Delta is, it's a little higher than these previous areas where price action was the same up here. So very interesting. You could be a 3-bar play, which is I know, right? We're always guessing, really. 3-bar play, that's like some other YouTube dude. He's very excited about stuff. I remember watching videos from him and he was like, yeah, 3-bar play. What you would do is look for a nice big bar, little bar, entry above, stop below, and hope for another one up. But we have 3 minutes left on this bar. It is now looking more bearish than bullish, but of course so much happens in a 5-minute bar. It is crazy. But here, I mean, we see this spike, which was weird. Huge spike. Now we're seeing some falling action down. You know, I'm tempted to say, like, let's take a quick bear trade here, but my hesitation is definitely around. We've been just riding out this 10 EMA, and here on NQ we were a lot closer to the 10 EMA, so the room is practically nothing. 80. Right, here would be target. And I mean, I guess it could have been 20 points, but it's not much. This could just be like again, like a deep bear bull flag. Not bear flag, a deep bull flag. But here we are. So I did have a question from someone in one of my videos about the indicators. I've tried to kind of review those a little bit. I'll take this moment while we're kind of just waiting to see what the heck is going down here. To review what these lines are all. I'll start over here on the left chart. So usually I have ES and NQ pulled up this middle chart, or the left chart, because over here we have the dome. This is what usually has my range charts. So ES is a 6 range and NQ is a 22 range. We do a different number because, you know, NQ has a bigger range than ES. Down here at the bottom, cumulative delta. On the chart itself, basically I have VWAP and standard deviations. So VWAP is gold here in the middle. The first standard deviation is the purple line. The second standard deviation is the blue line. The third standard deviation is the red line. And right here, the little dotted gray line is just 1.5. I don't know, it's just there. You know, sometimes it looks like it interacts with it. But it is dotted, so we pay a little less attention to it. I'm interested, just for a quick moment here, delta is just continuously diving. On NQ, back into something that might like make a little more sense. I gotta bounce over to ES really quick because their signals have been so divergent with one another, and I usually trust ES more. And I think, you know, partially ES gets traded more than NQ. So maybe that's it. Making stuff up on the fly, though I might not be wrong. So, you know, and I usually have ES's candlestick chart up. Right now I'm just trying to compare these lows, right? So this is a big low on delta. Price action was here. Price action is currently a little bit higher. Delta is currently a little bit higher. You know, incredibly deep bull flag pullback possible. This also could just be a double top, right? Double top. We really haven't seen VWAP in quite a while. Let me just open this up. VWAP was last touched. Oh, it's so lonely. At 1:25 a.m. and this is Central Time because I'm using Trade of 8 and they use Central Time. So 1:25 Central, which would be 2:25 Eastern? Anyways, it's been a frickin' minute since VWAP's been like touched over here on ES 5-minute chart. So I would not be surprised if we get a further pullback because this has just been a slow and sometimes big bullish move. Okay, so those, I think that was every indicator here on the left chart. We do have a volume profile over here as well. I think sometimes I'll have like the volume profile lines up, but currently I don't. I don't know why. I used to. So that's interesting. Glad I'm reviewing this. So here on my 5-minute charts, I have NQ and ES. I usually have ES pulled up because I feel like it reads well. and tends to pull NQ around. Sometimes this is wrong, and on those days I probably don't trade as well. And life goal is to recognize when that's not happening and just scoot over to NQ's chart instead of trying to read between two different charts. But anyways, here we go. VWAP is the gold line again. In this scenario, in my 5-minute charts, 10 EMA is blue, 20 EMA is purple. And Tradeovate uses TS Trader, and these red and blue lines indicate kind of like the highs and lows for the day. So those are just automatically placed in there. I could theoretically remove them. Again, I do have volume profile over here, and usually I would have, you know what, we can just get those set up while we're sitting here watching this stuff. Maybe? Deep bear move or double tap? Okay, well, maybe it's because really? Did I actually have to add something else? Now I'm feeling a little confused. Volume. Oh yeah, I do have volume down there. Cumulative delta. Okay. Color scheme, but like, what if I wanted to know more? We're always learning about like our charting and things like that. So it's good to be familiar with the tools that you're using as you trade. Looks like we're attempting, okay, so this is a new 5-minute candle, attempting to bounce off that 10 EMA. We might not though. I 100% would be tempted to take this bearish right now. So why don't we? Right? We're either right or wrong, essentially, right? You can only be right or wrong. True. I feel like we've moved a lot today. Like, we have a big range. We opened 96. We've moved about 140 points. 140. I mean, really here the question is, do we bounce off the 10 EMA or do we keep going? And low of 79, 79.50. So not really tweezer bottom candles, but like it's pretty close. Like that's 2 ticks so far, right? And this is, again, right? Like we're looking at a 3-minute to go 5-minute candle. So we're only 2 minutes into this 5-minute candle. Is looking a little tweezer bottomy, you know, a difference of 2 ticks. I'd be willing to kind of go, if we drop below this, let's take a bear trade real quick. Maybe in between the 10 EMA and the 20 as a possibility, but right now I'm kind of either going for a 25-point move or a 40. Why? Just because those are the numbers that I picked. I'm sure there's, you know, a better explanation that I'll come up with later. So sometimes I would take a trade based off of these, you know, trying to take these trades in between these bands. Okay. One reason I would go for more of a 40-point stop is because these bands are huge because we've had such a big range day. You know? And I can say, like, so far on NQ and ES, right? This kind of bullish bull flag with a deep pullback, right? It hasn't crossed below it, so that counts for something. A little bit of strength. Not a ton. I am interested also in volume. I haven't seen a big change in volume since the open. Okay, sometimes we'll see exhaustion volume, which we didn't see any of that. Same thing here on NQ. A little bit of height here on this little hammer and on the little lightsaber. Oh, sneaky. Dang it, I did think about it. Alright, well, whatever. Alright, well, we could have, but I wasn't feeling very confident. What I'm saying, we could have. I was sitting here with this as an idea, right? Sell 2 right there. That would have been a great trade. Only because it won. Would it have been a great trade because of following indicators and all of that? I don't know. Because like the indication here was we were getting a little bit of a spike, so there was no like immediate reason to kind of like take it bearish, other than the fact that like here we are slipping lower and lower. So if we get a close right here under the 10 EMA, which it looks like we did, great. It's on both charts. That's always fun. Now we have a little bit of a volume spike, which that's like, should I take a bear trade now? Or did what just happen, you know, people just trying to gather some strength there so they can continue up? Also a possibility. That is what I'm trying to read in this little volume spike, is why was there a volume spike there? So now here on Delta, we're showing more divergence between the Delta chart, cumulative Delta chart peaks, and the price action, right? So we have a high and a lower high currently, but we have a high and a higher high on cumulative Delta, which to me generally would indicate that we would continue up. However, like I said, ES has been the stronger indicator of what will happen. So it's like exactly what I'm talking about. Here on ES, we have cumulative Delta higher right here and lower over here, while price action is attempting to kind of peak above this previous relative peak. Okay, but Delta is not following presently. Could it spike up? I've absolutely seen Delta spike up, but it's not right now. So what does that mean? It means we could just keep falling down. Right now on the volume profiles, that is kind of what we're doing, is we're sitting around that like point of control, right? Point of control is generally, yeah, it'd be whatever your biggest bar is. Point of control would be here on NQ. We're bouncing around it. ES's range chart with cumulative Delta is, again, like what I'm saying, is indicating we might continue down. But right now, Delta is kind of just like making a life decision. You know, it's not moving a whole bunch. So I mean, I never enjoy waiting for forever. But basically what I'm looking at is I'm looking for a reversal. We've had this nice strong uptrend really for like 16 hours or something. I'm gonna pop over here to this other chart really quick. Right, we've since the open at 4 p.m. yesterday Mountain Time, right? Just a slow trend up, hitting into this resistance area on ES. NQ doesn't look like it got there yet, but whatever. I think I can it'll even count. Yeah, 16 bars. Look at that, Ellen. Sometimes you can add and subtract. So 16 bars of just trending up. Sure, okay, the open just kind of until 11, right? Which is like when the Asian market closes. Not the Asian market closing. Apologies. Maybe it opens then. I used to have those written down on a post-it. But yeah. I'm gonna see. Post-its. You are worthy. Money is with you. What help are you willing and able to receive? Where is my chart of hours? Okay, I don't. I guess I'll have to write those down again. But yeah, we're potentially reversing and gonna take a rest back into view up because we haven't visited it in forever. It does look like it's getting tired. I would say that. So what's up? What do we do? We look a little tired. This is trying. This is a new candle. Right, trading. There are so many places to be right and wrong. Right idea, wrong time. Okay. I could put a trade in right here and it could just blast through it and then fall down. Or it could never fall down, right? That's also true. I guess like some of the stuff that I'm liking is, all right, Delta is not moving a ton, but it is not showing a bunch of strength. It is showing a little bit more on the weak side. A little. Not on NQ, because NQ just isn't agreeable nowadays. But on ES. ES, it is slowly getting a little tired. Slowly. I guess the tough part is that currently price action is here. Delta, when you know, it's not showing a lot of divergence, and that's what I'm usually looking for. I'm looking for divergence in between Delta and price action. So we're waiting. How terrible. What else could this be? This could also be the Head and Shoulders, right? That Canadian bank announcement came and went. Literally, I didn't notice anything. Oh, well, I guess, right, 8:30. That was the announcement time. and there's a little volume spike. They did say that I had noticed whenever there will be somewhat of a volatile announcement, or even like a not much volatile announcement, especially if it is in the US, and then in this case the next announcement is for the European Bank. I have noticed that people will just kind of get out of the market about 10 minutes before the announcement. Have I done anything about that? No. But could I? Yes. Right, and that's kind of what happened right here around 8:21. 8:21 to 8:30. This was the announcement. Just a little fall. So, thinking about that, we have the European Bank announcing some things in 17 minutes. We could maybe get a push up, and then I would also consider just jumping in bear for the announcement. A very quick bear movement there, right? Tentative. Okay, well, I'm sure some of this stuff will have a bigger effect, but 16 minutes now. So if we see a little jump in something, or I mean, I don't know, no, not a yes. Maybe we do something like that, but I'd love to see it kind of bounce up first. Although price isn't terrible there, right? Maybe we could do a 30-point bracket. What does that look like? 30. 120, 120. Add 30. 30, 30. Save. Alright, I'm willing to do that. Might I have missed an entry? Yeah. Alright. I don't mind kind of scooting it down to 103. Oh. Okay. So we are in hoping for some bearish movement, more based on ES's chart, for Delta kind of just falling, price action not really moving at all. We are kind of hitting around this 10 EMA, so we really need it to kind of drop through there in order to see some success, but I think it's possible. What is this? A high of 33.25. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just make sure we see a new high if we're gonna get bounced out, and we'll drag this down a little bit. Just a little. I don't know. Really, I feel like I could get more than this, but let's just give it a minute, right? One of the things that I do terribly is I mess with things a little bit too much. So we're gonna try not to do that today. Although I really love when trades just like go to target. I do. Absolutely. I'm sure many of you do as well. So I'm certain I'm not alone there. I do feel like I could drag out this target a little bit more, but I need something to, it needs to move a little bit more. A little bit more. 2 minutes left on the 5-minute candle. We're gonna I mean, like, if you've noticed, I'm like, obviously, even the tone of my voice is different as I'm sitting here in this trade. These are all just things that you can notice too, as you're trading, to kind of, I don't know, just be aware of like how you're feeling, what your body is doing, what like your mindset, your psychology skills, right? People talk about trading psychology as though like that is more important than anything else in the world. Do I think they're wrong? Not really. But really kind of noticing these things when like these are not like, people don't usually observe this. You know, you do, but it's not like an explicit observation. It's more of like a interesting. I just feel it, and I'm not able to really articulate it. I'm not really able to really talk about it and say like, here, this is when it happened. Here we go. Right? So one of my backgrounds is in therapy and psychology. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I do that after I train. I see clients, right? And but talking about like emotional reactivity and awareness and observation, mindfulness, all of that is stuff that I do in session with people, and we talk about and find ways to slow down our thinking patterns and make better decisions in our lives. Okay, so that is one of the things that I'm trying to do here. And yeah, sure, I am formally trained in how to help people do these things, but it doesn't mean that I'm magically amazing at it, right? Like I'm feeling it as I attempt to take a deep breath to feel better. Okay. We are going towards the direction that I would like to go, which is great. I want to switch over. So this is NQ's chart. Delta is dipping below, which feels great. I want to see what ES is doing as well. Okay. All right. It's also sinking, which is also lovely. We've gotten close to my target. Oh, well, target hit. I definitely considered dropping it lower, but that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take that baby and enjoy that. It's so crazy how immediately like my nervous system relaxes after a trade, win or lose. Like, sincerely, nervous system calming down right now. Had I moved, how much lower would I have moved it? I would have moved it really lower, so I wouldn't even have hit target yet. So I'd still be feeling it. So sometimes, right, this is how we build tolerance. What was I? Oh my god. Anyways, we could have moved it down, but I was talking about building tolerance for change, for growth. Okay, I was working on some social media for my therapy group practice, and one of the social media posts was about the window of tolerance, right? Window of tolerance kind of just has to do with like, what can you manage before you flood? And like, if you flood, meaning like you have like a lot of emotional response to like the point of overwhelm, and you can't kind of like regulate after that. A, not great for trading, but B, really difficult to kind of like manage and build trust in yourself, because like once you flood, it's like, I can't, like, it was uncontrollable, and no one likes to feel out of control, right? Okay, there probably are some people, okay, but it's not a great feeling to feel out of control. So you don't want to flood. You want to stay within your window of tolerance, also known as like the window of like expansion and challenge you can handle and still regulate back from. Because if you go too far and it feels unsafe, you're going to have a hard time pushing growth in that area for a minute, because what you found out basically is that you can't handle stuff, right? And if you go into believing in things that you like, you go into a trade or life and you believe you can't handle it, you're probably gonna struggle, right? It's gonna make it harder. So, my window of tolerance, it's not tiny, but it's not big either. So, I'm a little bummed, right? Absolutely, I'm bummed I didn't just like pull that target a little bit lower, because it's going the direction that I thought it would go. But on the other hand, I can be really grateful that it worked out, and take the win, and maybe in the future we can grow the window of tolerance and patience, right? What's really funny is like this was not very long. Okay, my nervous system was starting to escalate and it wasn't that long. The trade was incredibly short. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. Last Thursday, I did take a trade that was only 40 seconds long, which was fantastic. I didn't have it on screen because I had to jump on a phone call. But a 40-second trade, I love those. Those are so great. But that's okay. 4 minutes and 30 seconds, also reasonable trade. Totally reasonable. Oh, click here to view performance data for previous sessions. I'm curious. I don't want to download it though. Position history? No. What if I don't want to download it? Alright, well, whatever. Move mouse over diagrams. Cool. I mean, but I also, okay, so this was a trade with two contracts. I also could have put one target to kind of go out here and one to go out somewhere else. Did I do that? No, but I could have, and maybe my brain wasn't functioning yet. And that's okay. I don't know where I would have put the second target though. Not sure. Not sure at all. Urizandi? You've been hanging out with me probably for a minute, I think. I don't know. We'll see. See if you respond. I'm just looking you up on YouTube on a different screen. Just because I'm curious. We haven't made VWAP here on the NQ range chart, nor the 5-minute chart, but like, it is a bit away. ES, on the other hand, it is a little bit closer. Potentially you could get that VWAP right there, right? We are looking to return back to essentially where it opened. So currently on the daily chart for ES, we would be seeing like that inverted a bullish hammer at the moment. Or not. Oh wait, this is the 1 hour. Boom, right? Inverted bullish candle forming at the moment, but this is on the daily chart. Why do I bring that up? I don't know. Just because it's interesting, like, quite the range. Inverse head and shoulders. So, what do we usually see when we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern? Well, what we usually see is I want to draw things. Head and shoulders. I've never used this. Left shoulder. head. Oh my god, this is super cool. I'm into it. I love it. Right shoulder. Okay, so that's very cool. Anyways, usually you'll see, actually, you'll see a retest of this neckline, okay? The neckline in this case is a little, so I would say, okay, we've already touched this, but you could have a retest really just between those two spots. Right? Did you kind of already retest it? Sort of, but not really. I would say you definitely want to see another, like maybe in the next 1 or 2 candles, that retest. But what else do we know is happening? The European Bank is making some announcements. 2 minutes. European Central Bank. Lane speaks. Philip R. Lane, member of the executive board of the European Central Bank, is set to speak. His speeches often contain indications on the future possible direction of monetary policy in Europe. Admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about what's going on. There's still that stuff with Ukraine, right? But yeah, there you go. That's what I know, which is not a lot, and I wish I knew more because I feel a little, I don't know, a little like disappointed, maybe a little bit of shame, but not like a lot, because like the reality is that I can't know everything. Like, how egotistical did that just sound? I can't know everything, and I gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere. Bloomberg. I'm just curious. I've never really touched on this thing. Bloomberg Markets Americas. But like, will you... Up next, Bloomberg Markets European close. Oh, is that the European close? Okay, that's cool. I mean, it's always fun to like just learn stuff, I guess, right?
The bond market's certainly seeing a significant surge as well. The gilt market is bouncing back very strongly. It's interesting to see what's happening at the front end. We're around 356 right now. How much further can that move go? Remember, the Bank of England is still expected to hike reasonably aggressively at the next meeting, but now it's a 100 versus 75 debate on the Bank of England. And then we come to what is happening in the equity market in a little bit more detail. We've talked about Credit Suisse. We've just heard from Shinali. Stocks trading 452. Apparently, Riyadh is interested in maybe investing in the iBank. We've also got potentially Abu Dhabi investing as well.
I don't know what this
that
dude's
stock
talking
has
about.
bounced, Alex, on the back of that news.
We'll talk about bouncing. Take a look here at U.S. markets. You got the S&P up a whopping 2.3%. It's a very powerful rally. You got almost 100% of stocks in the green. Now, one that is not, though, is 21st Century Fox, down by about 8%. The reason why is Rupert Murdoch is apparently thinking about joining the News and the Fox again. Investors not thrilled necessarily about that move. Now, what's helping the equity market is, yes, removing some headwinds like the UK, but also the 10-year yield down 5 basis points, so some buying across the curve. Yields come down. Stocks get a nice boost higher. Also, earnings so far from banks haven't been terrible. Just look at Bank of America. That stock at one point was up by about 6%. Now, I appreciate that broadly the dollar's weaker. We were looking at the cable rate at 114, but I do still want to point out where it's not weaker, and that's where it comes to the yen. Dollar yen.
Okay, I'm gonna pop over and just see
we were like a whisper away from 150.
announcement
Mr. Kuroda of the Bank of Japan saying that they are not going
So
to
prior
refrain
to
from
the
any
announcement, we saw a
monetary
little bit of a
tightening at all.
bounce.
They're still looking at 2.8% inflation.
And that's what I
It's
was
the
curious
highest
about.
in
Like, what are we
decades,
gonna
but yet
see
still
here?
not good enough. That monetary easing will continue putting pressure on the yen. And what will happen when it crosses that 150? Anyway, I'm watching that for the future, guy.
All right.
Absolutely. Right now, we're watching what is happening
Anyways,
in the House
here
of
we
Commons.
go.
Very shortly,
Head
we
and
are
shoulders
anticipating, we will
pattern.
hear from the UK
We're
Chancellor,
looking
the
to
new
see,
Chancellor,
does
Jeremy
it...
Hunt.
This is
We're
the
expecting
retest.
him
It could
speak
go
in
to
this
kind of
hour.
this
Now,
area as a high
earlier this
retest.
morning, he laid out his plans scrapping the tax
right here
cuts,
at
cutting
the
back on support for
confluence
households, and
rivers
doing away
again.
pretty
The
much
confluence.
with that energy package.
You know what? I'm gonna
well, not completely doing away, but a
what?
large part of it that Liz Truss.
Pro-union Starbucks workers sue company for defamation. Interesting. All right, so back here we can turn back on some nice chill music. The confluence of the 10 and the 20 EMA here on this 5-minute chart of the SPY. Okay, just kind of looking to say this would be the retest of the head and shoulders. If I was trading the head and shoulders, I would say this is the retest. And actually, I'm sorry, this is the 10 EMA and Gamma. And the green bar on this screen is VWAP. I should probably get all of those colors into a similar spot. But here on ES, right, the retest of the head and shoulder pattern currently hitting against the 10 EMA, I assume something similar on NQ, which is true. In a very zoomed in view, this could be a Morningstar reversal pattern. However, the bigger pattern here is a head and shoulders, and potentially this was the retest of the head and shoulders, and we'll go back down, looking again towards like this opening price, right? Opening price 1100. Wow, that is very fascinating. Anyways, so here we are, just waiting and seeing. We got 30 seconds left on these candles, these 5-minute candles. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And yeah, maybe if you didn't catch this move, right? Maybe you could catch another leg down, because there's definitely a possibility for another leg down. So let's actually just take a look at the delta charts, because that is the indicator that I generally use in conjunction with kind of reading candles. Here we are on ES range chart with delta. I mean, I'm not seeing a huge reason to jump in right now. At least not jump in bearish, and that's what I was thinking would be the move. Delta kind of having a really nice recovery, just incongruent step with price action, right? So that's kind of, I don't know, it's not saying do anything. Don't do anything yet. All right, 5-minute candles finished. Looks like I'm baking. Cupcakes are ready, kids. Inverted hammer on both ES and NQ, but I don't know. There's no buts, right? Like, that's just inverted hammer. We'll see what happens, right? That's kind of what we're always doing. We're trying to just wait and see while attempting to predict, right? Anyways, okay, so here on ES, price action is here. It is, delta is, I don't know, not saying a whole lot. It's really not. Price action was last here. Delta was a little, so price action was last here, like here. Okay, delta's higher than it was there. Also right about here, delta is lower than it currently is. So mixed messages. According to the candles, we could go back down if this is just a true retest of a head and shoulders pattern. But I mean, delta is just kind of sitting pretty, so I don't know. There's no need to kind of like jump in. I'm not like seeing like screaming, let's go, one way or the other. NQ, which has been showing different signaling often recently, just by recent I mean in the last, I don't know, few weeks really, to not exactly follow its indicators as I read them. So I don't know. Delta is currently still much lower than when price action was kind of sitting where it is now. So in general, that would usually indicate we're going to keep going down. Okay. ES, on the other hand, not showing that same information because it's rude, or, you know, it's just a different chart. ES showing a little bit of vague strength, maybe, right? I mean, we are, at least cumulative delta is currently in a positive number. I've definitely seen it in the negatives more often recently, but as you heard, Bloomberg lady talking about some big strength this morning. And as we saw earlier, right, like 16 1-hour candles just trending up. Okay, for the first five or 6 hours, it was kind of just sitting, but like in general, it's been trending up. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I just heard some weird sound, though it's probably a cat. It's probably a cat. Okay, so I don't know. Yeah, that could have been a thing, but we're not in it, so c'est la vie. Curious to see if it makes it there. To 28 would have been the target on a 30 point, but I actually could have done. Anyways, whatever. Woo. I think it made it. No, it didn't. Not yet. You're so close. Dang, a low of 30. Anyways. I feel as though maybe it's a one and done today, and I'm totally happy with that. I think I'm wondering if I should try to get 2 trades in during the day, but I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I'm always learning, right? I've been trading since basically the start of COVID. After that big dive, because that was, I don't know, terrifying. And like my trading has been off and on, right? Like I've had a full-time job this entire time until this October, right? I resigned October 3rd. So yeah, I've been trading part-time off and on, no solid consistency. Some months of profitability, some months of not, but I've never blown an account. Okay, sometimes we hear people talking about blowing accounts. Okay, no, that's not me. That's not my thing. I'm new to futures, but not new to trading. And what we're currently trying to do is get a funded account with Top Step, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm always looking to kind of improve things, and now that I'm able to be here a little bit more consistently, I'm really hoping that, consistency was all I needed, because like, I don't know, that's 3 years, no, 2 years, 2.5 years of trading off and on. I feel like that's a fair amount of studying, not like a ton, but it's a minute. I've seen things. And I would like to see a shift into more consistent profits, and also just be a funded futures trader while hanging out with some cash money for other markets, right? Like I'd love to get a house, but mortgage rates are terrible. sort of. Like, yeah, they're terrible relative to like the lows that we were recently at, but like in the overall scheme of things, we've seen mortgage rates higher than this. Like my parents' mortgage when they bought a house, 9% I think. Like, so we haven't reached that. But yeah, what are we doing? We're just kind of riding this 10 EMA like we were doing previously. We're just now using the 10 EMA as resistance, which that's cool. Curious, same thing on NQ. Yeah. Fascinating, I guess. Interesting here, this kind of hole in the volume profile that it's building. Which I did get distracted from that. I guess I have to go and get another volume profile. So that I can edit it. Guess so. Volume delta. Don't know what that is. Okay. Done. Price volume trend. I just saved something. Where did it go? Market profile. Save. Does that mean it's already there? This chart. Oh, I don't want the template. Do I? But what are you using? Okay. Template. Let me just make sure. What the? Oh, buddy. There we go. Oh. Well, that's weird. Okay, don't like that. Well, let's go back to the 5-minute. Well, good thing about those templates. Oh, I did actually get rid of cumulative delta over here, so boop. No. Delete. There we go. Huh. Oh. There's the target from earlier. Right, I was looking at 28. Low 25. Yep. All right, I mean, could I have? Yes. Did I? No. Why didn't I? All right, we could have. We could have. All right, well, I appreciate the time chilling, hanging out. We are gonna learn to find some courage to take a second trade, but I'm gonna be incredibly thankful and pleased to have taken the first trade that was a winner. So I will see you all tomorrow. I have no plans other than to be here, so lovely to see you all, and I'll put together a video that's maybe a little bit more clear on some of the indicators I use, but